Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hope y'all are great. So we got another great conversation coming. Do me a favor when you jump on, type your name, your business name down. Tag some folks that need to be here. Share this out. Drop it in your story. Drop it in someone's DM. Hope everyone is having a great evening or a day, wherever you at in the world. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Ryan McCrary, the Funnel Doctor. We help creative entrepreneurs grow and scale online using sales funnels and paid advertising. See some folks coming in. About to get this part. Accept the request. Let's see if it works now.
Hello, hello. I am doing
Hey, how you
well. How are
doing?
you?
I'm doing good. No complaints. Getting through the
Yeah,
week. It's Holy Week. So,
listen,
just getting through the week.
I forget that keeps happening. But yes, everybody keeps referring to it as Holy Week. I'm like, I don't know that I've ever any other year heard them refer to it as that. Anywho, but yes,
Yeah, I
I
keep
love
hearing people say it too,
it.
so I was using it. hmm Yeah, so let's get this party started. But before we do, I don't normally do this, but since I got you on, if you can
Oh,
start us off with the prayer,
listen.
and then we can
Okay,
go from
let's
there.
get to it. So, dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for today, Lord. We thank you for Ryan. We thank you for just this platform that he's building. We thank you for just the space that I'm building as well, Lord. But I just thank you for every person that's getting ready to listen, that they would have mindset shifts about marketing. I thank you, God, that even though many of us are building businesses, that we are literally building your kingdom. And I just pray that mindsets would be shifted and that you would have your way in the mighty and matchless name of Jesus. I pray, amen. I
Amen.
thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank
That
you.
was
I,
amazing.
I love starting my business coaching calls and stuff with prayer. So listen, when anybody invites me on their platform and lets me pray, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. So, I definitely want to get started, but before we do, I always like to just ask like your background, your story, how you got to be this amazing businesswoman. Because I'm even curious myself. I don't know too much about your
Yes, it's
background and how
such
you, got on this
a
journey.
long story. I'll try to keep it succinct. But hello to everyone who does not know me. My name is Candace Junée. I am a digital marketing and automation strategist and business coach. I'm the CEO of Epic Fab Girl, where we help Christian women entrepreneurs build profitable brands and grow their faith as they market and monetize their businesses to six figures and beyond. My journey. Okay, so I was always the girl who was like hustling when I was in elementary school and high school. I learned how to braid hair, and so it started with me like braiding my own hair, and my mom, like, people would see it and they'd be like, who braided this little girl's hair? And they're like, she did. So then my auntie was like, well, you can braid. Like, I have twin cousins that are a couple of years under me, and she's like, I'll pay you $20 to braid each of their head. So when I was in sixth grade, I was braiding fourth graders' hair for $20 a piece. And it's so funny because I would be doing it. They ran track. So I would literally do their hair while we were sitting outside at track meets, and my auntie would literally pay me. So that went from me braiding their hair and me braiding my own hair to everybody being like, who did their hair? And me just really building my business from the ground up as a, braider. As I got through high school and college, I always had that side hustle of doing people's hair, whether it was like, doing sew-ins or whether it was like braiding and everything like that. And so when I got to college, I actually studied mechanical engineering, and because that's a whole long story short, but I wanted to study business, but I ended up studying mechanical engineering because I didn't get into the business school at the school that I had gotten accepted to attend. And so I ended up I think my sophomore or junior year, I actually started a hair extensions company because I was doing everybody's sew-ins. So I started selling hair, but I took it to the next level of like putting up a big cartel like website and like basically starting to sell hair. So selling hair turned into me having, creating my LLC, starting that when I was in undergrad. And then I decided, like, you know what, I actually want to go to business school. So the same school that did not accept me in their undergraduate program gave me a degree in I got a master's in business administration from that same school. So I applied, you know, as a junior. I did a 3-2 program. So by the time I was 23, I graduated with my master's in business and my mechanical engineering degree. And then I worked for Accenture for 3 years. It's a what do you call it? It's one of the top consulting companies. I did digital marketing technology consulting, which showed me the behind, like I loved marketing. I loved Instagram. And my degree was in marketing and accounting. So I really enjoyed Instagram, but I didn't understand that marketing had a tech side of it. And so when I was in corporate, I basically started learning these tech platforms about like segmentation, automation, all the stuff, and the tools behind it. And so I worked in corporate for 3 years, quit my job and to basically pursue Epic Fab Girl even before it was making money. Like it wasn't like a sustainable business. So I literally quit my job, started driving Uber to try to make ends meet and figured it out. And I think I started Epic Fab Girl in 2016. I had our first conference in 2018 where we host like women's events. And then it has evolved into this membership community for Christian women entrepreneurs. And so, yeah, I don't want to like zoom past that part, but like a lot has happened since then. In 2020, I literally started the year with $0 in my bank account. Like, because I had tried everything. Like I literally tried everything. And even though I was like making money, you know, as a business owner, you got expenses. So it's like you making money, you spending money. And I remember starting 2020 with $0 in my bank account. The day after Christmas of 2019, December 26th, I was served foreclosure papers on my home. Just a ridiculous story. Yes. I'm going to bust out my...
She's still about the paper.
I tell the full story in, you know, Bold and Courageous, which is my book. But literally, I was served foreclosure papers the day after Christmas and like had no idea what I was going to do. And I just prayed. I was like, okay, Lord, you're the one who told me to quit my job. You're also the one who told me that I wasn't going to lose my house. So what's up? Long story short, January came around, February came around, and then March came around, right? March, what happened? The pandemic, and they paused all foreclosures.
Right.
April, I hosted my Go Getter Confidential Virtual Summit. We had over 4,500 women sign up. We made $30,000 in 8 days. Wow. It was mind blowing. I was mind blown because I was putting together a summit that I wanted to be free. And at the last minute, God was like, well, how are you going to monetize it? I'm like, what do you mean? I literally sold a $47 replay and people bought it and we made lots and lots of money. We got lots of members into our membership and we were like, oh, wow. So that very same year that I started with $0 in my bank account, I scaled my business to 6 figures and I started helping other women build 6-figure businesses as well. And yeah, so that was the cool part, was that not only was I able to benefit from the knowledge that I knew from like working in these corporations, and having that experience from running my own business when I was like younger, but I was able to help, you know, other women. I have so many clients that have been able to build 6-figure businesses, have 5-figure launches, things like that. So that was the blessing for me, was that I was able to not just learn that information, but be able to share it with other people. So that is my story. And listen, one of my teammates is in the chat talking about, I'm never going to get tired of this story, because listen, I tell it all the time. It was the Lord. Okay. Let's be very clear. It was the Lord.
That is an amazing story. Like, seriously, I knew none of that. And you are a true entrepreneur. Like, when people talk about entrepreneurs and, oh, I've been through the struggle and, you know, my home was about to foreclose or my car was repossessed, like, you really lived it. So, like, that is amazing. No, like, seriously,
I'm telling you, why I bring this up all the time is because I literally, this book is thick, right? I got lots of stories of moments where I thought that God was going to fail me. Where I thought that literally, like I said, after, because this was after my conference, I literally was like, I know God has never failed me, but if it ever felt like God had failed me, this is what it would feel like. when you expecting and having the faith, like, oh, I'm gonna launch out with the business idea, and you get all your ducks in a row, and then boom, you feel like God did.
God did.
Look, God did. Okay,
God
I know
did.
I'm over here preaching and stuff, but I know you got questions, so I'm gonna be quiet.
No, you good. Listen, I'm blown away by the story. Like, seriously, like, we could just drop the mic right there. But I am curious, on Epic Fab Girl and just learning more about, what that is and what you all do,
Yes.
and, the
So
amazing stuff you do
Epic
for the women.
Fab Girl, whew, we do a lot. So we started out as a blog that turned into us hosting women's events. So we had our first event in March of 2018. So I was recently getting all the memories on Facebook and stuff that it was like 5 years ago. And basically, I didn't realize that it was such a need. But when I tell you, I put that event on 6 months after I quit my full-time job. We sold out at like 200 people. It was crazy. Like, this was back when Instagram, you post a picture and, and then everybody's like,
oh, yeah. Going
that was the
viral.
marketing plan. So it
Right.
sold out, and, we started hosting events. We took events on tour. But the thing that I realized was, like, people had these incredible experiences in person, and there was this energy in the room that was felt, but I felt like it wasn't sustained. So I'm like, how do I create community? So actually, I had tried to launch our membership on stage at our first conference, and I did not know how to do it well. I was just like, oh, by the way, we have a membership. Here are the details. Like, sign up. Nobody signed up. It was crickets. And then pretty much throughout the years, we would host events, and then we decided to, like, basically turn it into a membership where people could connect with each other, where we come together to pray. And so now what it has evolved into is, like, we have master classes that are taught every single month by experts. We have, I teach a master class every single month. So, like, this month I'm teaching about, like, how business owners can use Canva to grow their businesses. And then we do a prayer call. And then, so that's Epic Fab Girl. We got the membership, and then we do, like, business coaching. So I have, an accelerator program that basically helps women have their first 5-figure launch. And then we have another program that really helps them to build the foundation for a 6- and 7-figure business. So that's pretty much what we do. Host events. We have a podcast. We got lots of cool things that we do. So yeah.
Y'all got a lot of things out in these streets, so as you know, it's so many coaches online, and it's really like cliche now. I know when you first started, it wasn't as many people doing that, and online coaches, social media experts, and so forth. So what would you say, like, separates you from all the other 50-11 coaches online? Why should someone come in your program and, work with you, as opposed to, like, everybody else?
And when I say what I say, it's not meant to be shady at all, because you're asking the question, so I'm going to just put it out there. But, I think for me, I think all of my clients, they know that we literally include God in our business, and it's a part of the process. And I know there are a lot of people that position themselves as believers or as, Christian entrepreneurs, but then you get in their programs and there's no real spiritual depth. And we really don't play when it comes to spiritual depth. And I'm not, this is in no way meant to be shady, but Alicia, all things Lee, she's one of my clients, and she know we don't start nothing without praying. There may be times where in a moment, like, yeah, we're talking about coaching, but then I may have to intervene, spiritually and say something. So there's tears being shed, and, like, of course people have emotional moments, but there are breakthrough moments that happen by way of tapping into someone who's anointed to do what they're doing. On top of that, like, we really lead with marketing and making sure, because I personally believe that marketing is the foundation for so much in business. Like, how you can position your services, that's marketing. How you sell on the sales call, you got to do marketing on the front end. You got to market the product even when you're going through your sales process. So I like to make sure that people are really clear on, like, their sales and their marketing, and really holding their hands through that journey to actually get to that, desired result that they have. So I feel like the thing that really separates us is, yes, the faith-based piece, but then that marketing piece. And we really focus on making sure that they market based on data and not just based on assumptions. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Shout out to my guy Dontel in the chat. And yeah, that is interesting, you know, and I'm gonna piggyback on what you said because there are people out here with programs that'll say it's faith based, but when you in it, like it's not really faith based. Unfortunately, a lot of people use that as a marketing tactic, which is unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? So I love that, and I'm also curious on like what's the balance between like the faith and the marketing business. I only say that because, you know, I have seen some people that they rely too much on faith. You know what I'm saying?
But
Of
you
course, they
gotta,
say faith without
if
works is all
somebody
dead.
paying you for something, you
So
can't just have them paying for prayer. Okay, you got to do something else. Yeah,
exactly,
I would say for us,
exactly.
we separate them. So even in our membership, like we have like a monthly prayer call and membership meetup, but then we have master classes where it's like you coming here to learn. We're gonna start with prayer, but we're gonna shift to talking about business. And then in the same way, like with my coaching, like I start off with like prayer in all of our sessions, but like usually my last sessions with clients, it'll get more spiritual. Or at our retreats, like it may end up being more spiritual. Or at events, like when we do our conferences and events, we have like worship. And like you would think you came to church. Like we've had reviews from people like, oh, I didn't know I was going to be at church, but this was so good. But we literally
Yeah.
have like speakers and things come in, but we also have people who flow like, you know, prophetically, or, you know, they're doing worship. So it's creating an environment to like worship God, but also learn. So that's one thing that we really like to do, is make sure that we're including God in the entire process.
I love that. And I definitely wanted to say thank you for allowing me to be part of your virtual summit that's coming up.
Thank you.
So I appreciate that, and just really, you
Yes,
know,
of course.
thank you
I'm
for the
excited. I
opportunity.
always love connecting with other marketers, so I'm always down. Listen,
You know, I'm a hardcore marketer. You know what
I
I'm
love
saying?
numbers,
Like,
and I feel like I
hardcore
love
marketer.
marketing so much because it's so focused on the people. And I think where people forget sometimes, like we can be so business oriented and money oriented that we forget who's at the center of everything when it comes to our businesses is the people that we serve. So, you know, I think that marketing is just such a cool thing because you get to be strategic about the way people's minds work and the way that they make decisions. So.
I love that. So, like, at what stage in business should someone come to you? Like, is it just starting out? Should I already have a product or service in the marketplace? Should I already have proof of concept? Should I already, you know, be at five figures trying to get to six or six to seven? Like, you know, what stage should
Yeah, I
people be
think
at? You know,
the way that we've created our programs is like we have something for everybody. So for someone who's just getting started and doesn't even have a concept, but they want to like figure out what they want to do, they can join our membership. But we also have our membership is not just for people who are just starting. These are people who have already started and maybe they're not making, you know, the money they want to make in business. So they're trying to streamline what they want and trying to figure that out. So that's a really great place for for those type of people. We also have in that membership, we have like one of our clients that I'm specifically thinking about. She's based on the East Coast. She has had a brick and mortar business for over 10 years. She's well beyond six figures, but she's in the membership learning a lot of stuff just because like there's always something that you can be learning as an entrepreneur. And even for me, when I sit in on these master classes taught by other people, I'm like, oh, I'm in here learning. So the membership is more like come in, learn what you want to learn, and go from there. And then if you're at the point where you have helped people, you have testimonials, and you know whether you have helped people for free or not, typically people come to me when they want to have that first $10,000 month or that first $10,000 launch, and they want to sell to that six-figure mark. Usually we help in the service-based space, but we're expanding to serve like people in the product-based space because I have that expertise from running an e-commerce business. And then the last piece is like if you are close to six figures or really know you want to scale to seven, then that's where our mastermind kind of comes into play to help people, you know, position themselves and get around the right community to take it to that next level.
I love that. And you made me think of something else when you talk about launch stuff, because I see a lot of people, you know, do launches the wrong way, unfortunately. So what do you think are like some of the biggest mistakes that people make when launching? and what are some tips? Not all the tips, of course. If they want them, they got to join the membership. If you want everything. But, you know what I'm saying? We're going to plug that, of course. But what are like some mistakes you see, common mistakes, and like what, you know,
Yes.
what tips would you
So
have
I
for
think
people
one
that
of
are
the
launching?
biggest mistakes, and I say this all the time, especially as someone who's getting started in business, is that they get offended that their friends and family don't support them. So it's like they're launching, they're like, I got this new product, oh my goodness. And then they just think all this stuff is supposed to happen and things are supposed to just trickle in and your friends are supposed to support you. And it's like, baby, like your friends and your family aren't your target audience. Like, please do not be worried about them. And, you know, like, yeah, they're your family. Let them be family and friends to you. The other really big thing I see is that people think that one post is enough. Like you announce, like, listen, I put this in every single masterclass I teach. One post just won't do. It's not going to work. Like, but I used to be that same person. Like, oh, I had an event, put a post up, and then, you know, expect like everybody gonna go back to that. And it's like, you know how much other stuff people see online after they saw your stuff, they're going to forget. Like, like no way. So those are two big mistakes. And the last huge mistake is one that I hate. I can't stand it. I literally cannot stand it. Is that they don't send enough emails. People be afraid to email their audience. It's like, I don't want to get on their nerves.
Right.
So you don't want to make money. Like, what?
Right.
So, but it's like, I think coming out of this fear of like feeling like you're annoying people, but it's like when you have the right audience, they're going to pay attention to what you're doing. And if you're saying the right things, like, they're going to stick around. Of course, people are going to unsubscribe from your list. People unsubscribe from my list every single day. That is A-okay. That just means it's not a good fit for them. But the people who are there, they're there and they're rocking with it, right? So I would say like that turns into a tip of just like email your audience consistently, even when you're not launching something.
Yeah, that's big because I do see a lot of people, they do that and they just, you know, try to put all these emails and texts, like you said, when they are launching something. But when they're not launching something, they didn't nurture the people, you know what I mean? They didn't actually build a relationship. So piggyback on all that, you know, I see definitely all those mistakes, people we work with and clients and just, you know, entrepreneur friends and stuff like that. So to piggyback on that, I say also a lack of planning, of course. You know, people don't plan the, you know, the launch enough. They don't plan ahead of time. They last minute, especially when it comes to people like me. Oh, my launch is in 2 weeks and you build my funnel. Like, no, like, no. Like,
yes.
We don't have enough time to build
like, I will
start.
say that I'm getting way better at that because I used to be a very last minute marketer because I'm just like, I'm good at this. Like I can just, so I'd be waiting to the last minute, but I have learned I think January I had an event, like a virtual event or a virtual challenge. I think it was like January 17th through the 19th. So it was like kind of late January. I started for the first time ever. Like I started over a month in advance. So I had built the landing page out. Like, listen, I was so proud of myself, but that was one of the best launches that we ever did because I had started creating content for over a month for that and was promoting it. And then we had a video that went viral. So it's like the fact that the video went viral or the reel that went viral, we got over like 1 million views on that particular video. Yes, it was so crazy. It got us over 20,000 followers. It was just really, really crazy. And let's say we posted that video and it went viral 2 days before the thing, it's like people would have missed it, would have missed the event. But the fact that it was going viral and people were signing up and signing up and signing up, it really benefited us that we, you know, planned ahead and started marketing sooner than later.
Yeah, I love that. And if y'all got any questions, feel free to type them down. We got a few more minutes. I know you very busy person, so I definitely respect your time. So my last couple questions are, I'm sure when it comes to like investing in their business and making an investment and joining your program, stuff like that, people have some apprehension. Like, I'm sure you get it all the time of like, oh, it's too expensive, or, you know, I'm not going to invest in my marketing or whatever it is. So what do you generally say to those? I have learned
a new way to communicate. First of all, I'm not begging nobody to be in my program. I know that I'm good at what I do. Like,
say that again, please.
I am good at what I do.
Say that again, please.
The results speak for themselves. Perfect example. I have a client. She enrolled in our Launch and Profit Accelerator. She actually works at Meta. She has a UX company, and she helps people land jobs in UX and in like these tech spaces. She literally joined, our program started February. Coaching started in March, and April is our last month. In March, now mind you, in last year she made $60,000 in her business, right? So she made $60,000 in her business. In March of this month, she made $32,000. She was like, I made more than half of what I made all last year in a single month after being in my program, right? So to go from, having a whole $60,000 year to a $30,000 month, it's like the results speak for themselves. I have had clients who, one client in particular who I first started working with in 2020, she made $16,000 in her first 2 weeks. And at first I was like, is this a fluke? Because what's going on? Then 2 months later, 40K.
Right.
Then that same year, she built a 6-figure business. The year after that, she made a multiple 6-figure business. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the results speak for themselves. I know I'm really great at what I do, but my thing is, like, don't be the person that joins somebody's program and then be complaining because of, just know and be surer than sure when you join a program. Now, what do I say to the person who's like, because whether it's me or somebody else, what do I say to them who's maybe like, well, $10,000 is a lot, or $30,000, or even $5,000, whatever. I tell you, that first of all, when I created my 6-figure Maven program that I used to have, it was a $10,000 program. It does not make sense for me to help you build a 6-figure business and me charge you $1,000. That don't make sense. Like, the math ain't mathing, right? So, because it's like, not only will you be able to build a 6-figure business this year, but you're going to make 6 figures next year. If you keep doing this right, you're going to make 6 figures. Right. And then $1,000 right. Exchange, just something ain't right. So for me, no. I just, I challenge you guys to think that, like, what happens if this result that I desire actually happens, right? And what would that look like over time? So if your goal is, a lot of my clients, their goal is to make $10,000 a month. If you're making $10,000 a month, month over month, and then we already know how exponential growth works, this is just setting you up to make even more money and impact even more people in the long run. So I just really challenge you to get out of your own way, because I always tell people the number one thing that's going to get in the way of the success that God has for you is you. It's your mindset. It's you saying, oh, I'm scared. When I tell you, like, every investment I have ever made into a coaching program or a mastermind, I did not know how I was going to come up with that next payment. But I put that money down. Like, I can't afford not to do this. I can't afford not to invest in myself. Because if I don't invest in myself, I'm going to just be sitting over here stuck and without information. But if I invest in myself, I'm going to have the right information to pull things together and make something shake with what I have learned. And one thing I know is that the more that you pay, there's something about when I pay more, I got some grits, and I got some skin in the game. So I'm gonna do more work. Like, I'm not about to pay $30,000 and not get every dollar's worth of me being in that program. Like, you're out of your mind if you got. So I think there's something about paying more that allows for you to show up in a different way.
You got me ready to sign up. Like, for real. So if someone is interested, they want to learn more, they want to join.
So in terms of our membership, like, literally the best way is to go ahead and head over to Epic Fab Girl, our Instagram page, and click the link in the bio. There's a place to sign up for the membership. We actually have the Go Getter Confidential Virtual Summit that you are a part of, so they can go ahead and get signed up for that, and we'll share with them lots of more information. But if somebody's like, you know what, I'm trying to bypass all of that, then just shoot me a DM and I will send you an application to work with us. And basically the application, because we don't work with everybody, because I want to make sure that you guys can actually get really tangible results. And I know that, I want to make sure that the people that we help, we can actually help them. So we have an application process. You can go ahead and apply, and then I'll hop on a call to basically basically discuss a strategy that will work for you, regardless of if you decide to work with me or not. And then from there, we can, you know, figure out what the best next steps are for you to work with me, or if you decide not to work with me, you know, I'll make recommendations for, you know, other things that you can do.
I love that. So yeah, if you're on the fence, or you need a coach, or you need a community, make sure you go over to her page and go to the Epic Fab Girl page. If you're not following either one of us already, go to the top, drop down. You don't have to leave the live. Top, drop down, and follow both of us. And yeah, any other last words for the people? Again, thank you so much for coming on. I know we're gonna have a lot more to chat about. I know we're gonna be going live on your page next week or two and stuff like that. I'm definitely excited about the summit. But any other last words for the people? Any other nuggets besides all the ones you already dropped already?
So much. Well, first of all, thank you just for having me. I always love, you know, connecting. My thing is do what God told you to do. Like, stop overthinking it. Stop questioning if it's good enough. Like, what I have built has grown into something that's way bigger than I could have ever imagined. I've been able to be on platforms like Essence and be in a magazine. Like, the fact that I got a magazine sitting over there with my face in it, with Lori Harvey and Chloe and Hallie on the covers, and my face, literally, you turn the page and my face is right there. That's because I did what God told me to do. And I believe that, you know, the Bible talks about how your gifts will make room for you and bring you before great men and women. And it will. Like, do what God told you to do. Don't second guess it. Stop putting it off till next year. Stop putting it off till, you know, feeling like you need to have certain things in place. And I challenge you to get in somebody's program. Don't just be, you know, oh, I don't think coaching is for me. No, like, it changes people's lives and it changes people's businesses. So literally do what God told you to do and don't overthink it.
Listen, she said it. She said it best. So definitely do what God told you to do. Again, if you are interested in what she has to offer, definitely just go to Candace's page, go to the Epic Fab Girl page. You can sign up for the virtual summit, all the programs. You can DM her, fill out an application to make sure you're a good fit. And yeah, again, like I said, just thank you so much for coming on. Have a safe flight.
All right.
And I know we got a lot more to talk about.
Have a great rest of your day.
Okay.
See ya.
All right, you're welcome. You too.